In Atlanta yesterday, during a major speech on voting rights, President Biden expressed his frustration at Republicans trying to block the voting rights bills. It's a very important thing because a lot of the Republican states are passing a lot of legislation to make it very difficult to vote. And who does it make it difficult to vote for? People who are in the lower to middle class in the United States, people who are minorities, people who are newly minted U.S. citizens. There are a lot of roadblocks, especially in the Republican states. Why is that? Because Republicans want middle class and upper middle class white people to vote for them.
Right.
So in Atlanta yesterday, during a major speech on voting rights, President Biden expressed his frustration at Republicans who are blocking the voting rights bill. They're blocking it for a good reason. If you're a Republican, they want to stay in power. Mm-hmm. Because the majority, if it was one vote per one man or one woman in the United States of America, there's a lot more people who vote Democrat than Republican. Every presidential election, who gets the most votes? The Democrats, but they always lose, or they lose many of the times because of the Electoral College and the way that the districts are apportioned. So there's 3 different voting rights acts, and now a lot of people are saying that there's no way that it would pass the Senate unless they eliminate the filibuster. The filibuster, if you remember, is you need 60 votes to pass a bill. And they want to reduce that to 50 votes, which would be the 50 Democrats plus Kamala Harris. A lot of the provisions in the Voting Act sounds good to me.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let me go through this with you a second. Okay. They want to bring back and restore and update all the protections of the landmark Voting Rights Act of 1965. That's a John Lewis Act, responds to current conditions in voting today by restoring the full protections of the original bipartisan Voting Rights Act of 1965. It follows the Shelby County decision 8 years ago where several states passed sweeping voter suppression laws that disproportionately prevented minorities, elderly, and the youth from voting. So they want to put back those protections to allow those groups of people to vote. They want to expand voting opportunities for people. They want to make voting early. So all 50 states should be able to open up voting a few days at least before the election. So not everybody votes on that one day.
Right.
They want to be able to increase mail-in voting for people who can't stand on lines or people who are concerned about COVID. They want to make Election Day a holiday because a lot of people want to go vote, but if you're living paycheck to paycheck and your boss says you don't show up to work, you're not getting paid, guess what? You're not going to vote.
That's very true.
Who is that affecting? It's not affecting a rich person.
No.
Right? Mm-hmm. They want to give protections for individuals with disabilities. The bill would require each state to ensure that individuals with disabilities have the same access to an absentee ballot. They want to have a national standard for voter validation, meaning that it's the same validation whether you're in California, Oregon, Texas, Arkansas, New York, Florida. You have to show the same exact documents to prove that you are eligible to vote. Right now, it's different documents in all 50 states. They want to crack down on deceptive and intimidating practices. The bill would prohibit the dissemination of false and misleading information designed to deter people from voting. They want to counter long lines, make it a law that every state has to take somebody's vote within 30 minutes. Sometimes people are in lines for 3-4 hours, right? And you get tired. And by the way, those Republican states, they make those lines very, very long in the minority communities. They do not open up.
Of course.
They do not open up a lot of polling places in the minority communities. And then in the wealthy communities, they have a lot of places to vote. Very easy to walk in and walk out. It goes on and on and on and on and on. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.